That's a painting I made of my wife. Beautiful woman, isn't she? Yeah, so my mother died in this room holding my hand, and the night before she said, "Your brother just doesn't understand how sick I am." Wouldn't that make you fucking crazy? Wouldn't it make you fucking crazy if your father didn't leave the entire house and everything? Not to you, but your brother? Probably. But why would my father do such a thing? Pretty cool reason, you know? And it's like, it's it's difficult to try to reason with someone who really doesn't care about your feelings or those feelings of those around him. And swatting somebody, it means that you are sending the cops to someone's house, you're accusing them of doing something bad. It can also be done by making a fictitious order of protection, a phony claim to live somewhere, and to vacate an order, and to repeatedly file order protections accusing people of harassment who are not harassing you. Nobody's harassing. I'm simply talking about my life. Every day's an holiday, you know? And I can't wait to edit the rest of my videos, folks, because there's a lot of me, like, jumping around, having a good time, chopping up stuff with my machete, and heaven forbid he would use that against me in court. I mean, it was quite, I gotta say, to accuse someone of playing the saxophone, playing with a toy airplane, and showing off their artwork and dancing and acting silly is harassment and threat, and talking about the painful things that he's gone through, taking care of both his parents with cancer, and trying to advertise his old man's art to get some sympathy from the rich folks. What? That's a crime? No, it's not. So now I gotta go back to court and explain myself all over again, that these allegations are false. That this thing that my brother's doing with claiming that he lives here and that I'm harassing him and he should just come and go and please as he wants and terrorize my wife and I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I need him to get the rest of his stuff out of here, so he figures, well, I'm gonna like do the ghetto thing where you just leave stuff and say, oh, somebody, you broke it, now you owe me money, yo. I mean, that's the most ghetto #1 trick hustle in the book. But then again, what's that character by Borat? Ali G. Yeah, Ali G. Let me see. Who does that remind me of? Hey, you know what, folks? Be kind to one another. And be kind to your brother. Because he just might be that paratrooper who, lost his mind. Everything he knows, I taught him, except for being a paratrooper, jumping out of planes and all that stuff. And I command him everything I taught him, being a marksman, and all that that stuff. Apparently, I was on the wrestling team for a long time. I don't know how else to say it, And unfortunately, I put myself, when I was younger, in some very dangerous places in the world. And you learn from experience. And being a youngster up here, the kids were it was a violent, it was a school to learn how to fight and protect yourself pretty much, or talk yourself out of getting beat up or running away if you had to, That's the first thing they teach you. You can only fight 5 people at once. 2 of them you got to try first, and then 3 more, and then you better run away if there's some more coming. You can only fight 5 people at once, So it was always like 2 against 1, 3 against 1, 5 against 1, 10 against 1, 31 against 1, and then I'd have to do the same thing, bodyguard, protect my brother, like some of the other kids did to me. My bodyguard, but look out for me like a little brother at the bus stop. And then so, when the law, at the time made marijuana legal, I was in college. I took my car away, college tuition, and I lost my freedom. It devastated me and my brother and my family. And I think, eventually they started to really just make it difficult for my brother. He got a lot of trouble. It's really unfair. And, we both grew up, with a lot of our friends. Most of them became police, in the military. And, we grew up in a very, interesting way in the country. We had a good time until, I got in trouble and he got in trouble, and we sort of went our separate ways. And that's when I think Andreas decided he wanted to join the army. So he go shit up everybody, kill everybody. First thing he did, looked me dead eye. I was like, how'd he come at me? Looked at me, stabbed me dead button in the butt with a barbecue fire. I looked at him, thing squeezed out of my butt, and he took off running. And he would do crazy shit right here, right? My mom was sitting in this chair with oxygen tubes in her nose, and I had to wrestle on the ground right here, tube would come out of her nose, and I'd hold him to the crate. I'd be like, I love you, Andreas, stop. And my mom would be like, he just doesn't understand how sick I am. She'd be crying here. So I'd have to do that 3, 4, 5, 6 times, okay? Until finally he got too tired and he go away. But I didn't start wailing on him. I never punched him. I never hurt him. I can't do that. It's my brother. I love him, okay? And I don't like fighting. And obviously, there's a reason for that, okay? And Andreas, for whatever reason, feels that, he had to be different than his mom and dad and me, like to go the opposite direction down some kind of path of darkness. And it's scary that he's actually able to get away with this nonsense. Really, it's harassment. It's a form of like swatting, if you can imagine. You're accusing somebody of doing something, and then you say, oh no, I'm going to charge this person with this, and he did this, like a crime against man. I mean, claiming that you live with, but you don't. It's like the police officer explained to me. He said today, he goes, yeah, it's like when you help out a homeless person, and then they refuse to leave. If you don't go to court and do the whole vacate papers, then the person could say they live there. But that's not the case with my brother. My father kicked him out in 2009, ended up in a nursing home. I had to go to court again, get my brother out in 2013 because he crashed in here when my dad was in the nursing home, and I break him in and out of here. And the nursing home, and Andreas, again, abused my dad in 2013, and then 2019. He hasn't lived here since 2013, okay? I was too sick to do the official vacate order. Now I gotta go to the court because he seems to be able to convince people and use that as some sort of evidence that this is still his legal residence. And it's not. He's never paid a single bill here. Matter of fact, it's been me who's helping my dad pay the mortgage. And my wife and I the taxes. And for years doing this. And we're struggling. We give him money. This is how he treats people. His own family. That's horrible. And nobody should have to go through what I'm going through, especially after you lose your father. During a freaking pandemic to cancer, after you already lost your mom to cancer, and your dad was sick his whole life. Okay? So, whatever, happened, my brother and I happened when we both got older. When I was 17, and, and I wasn't there at the bus stop to watch out for him. Like, that's where you joked in, brother. And I had marijuana in my pocket, man. It's freaking legal now. I mean, anyway, I just, my mother told me I'm not a bad person, okay? And I believe that. I'm not a bad person, all right? Really. But if you want to be bad, and you want to be mean, you want to be tough, you want to be a tough guy, yeah? Go look how easy it is to kill a fly and tell me killing ain't easy, huh? Go look at people who are really, really, I don't know how else to say this. People who've been through the unimaginable. And ask them, was that fun? Was that cool? Was that bad? Was that cool to you? And that's the attitude adjustment that I would love to see to anyone who has PTSD or is mentally ill. Like, wait a second. For sure, life ain't all, sunshine and roses. And there are times when we must defend ourselves. But to go around trying to be like, telling everybody what to do and being mean to people and ratting people out and trying to tell the cops that, oh, this person's doing this, or you should go arrest that person. You should look, he's doing this. That is not a way to go through life. And I appreciate your support here because this has been very difficult for me. And the police came here again. They said, look, I'm sorry, we know, but, they had to serve me another paper or protection, some kind of bullshit that he's being harassed again. It's nonsense. It's crazy, And I hope no one else has to go through that. So, this is my mom and dad on Menemsha Beath in Martha's Vineyard. Okay? and they wanted me to spread their ashes there. So please go fund me with the memorial through my Facebook fundraiser. You know, and help me or buy some artwork, please. You know, my dad left it to me. That's all he could leave is his house and the artwork. The house is mortgaged to the hilt because my brother got in so much trouble that he kept wanting to bail out. That's his flesh. That's his son. That's a true love of a father. So if he said my father was abusive, that's really hurtful. That's really hurtful. My father was the best artist this world has ever seen. And they just wanted to be together. Their ashes on Menentra Beach. And that's going to cost me a lot of money, just like $500 retainers do for lawyers and court fees and all that, you know. Thank you. Thank you, Conley.